Welcome to Global One Media Stocks to Watch. I'm Michael Suido. I'm speaking today with two leaders who work on the cutting edge of finance and digital technologies. Fraser Matthews is the CEO of the cryptocurrency trading platform Netcoins, and Brandon Johnson is the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Experience Officer at TerraZero Technologies. They specialize in bringing companies and brands into the Intraverse. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Brandon, I want to kick it off with you. TerraZero has a great client list. It includes the elite Kentucky Bourbon, Angel's Envy, a major US TV network, CBS, the tech giant Salesforce, Warner Records, and many others. And what your company does, it is really quite interesting. You bridge the physical and digital worlds, creating unique experiences like underwater worlds and virtual discos. Now, you're TerraZero's Chief Experience Officer, in addition to being COO. And I'm sure there are plenty of viewers out there when they hear this are thinking, wow, that sounds pretty cool. So could you tell us what actually, as a CXO, what do you do?
Sure. I think a lot of what goes on in a CXO role typically has to do with what the customer or the user or a client, whatever party is engaging with content, what their experience is. So when you apply that in our virtual context here, we have a bunch of unique things that we do between systems we build for web, systems we build for Unity. When somebody comes into a virtual space, there are things they can buy, what they're doing in the environment, helps build out a very elegant data platform that we have. And there's true omni-channel connectivity. When a major artist puts out a post on social media and says, jump into my Intraverse, we're now telling a story across multiple platforms. And that experience has to be connected, and it has to be accessible from many different directions. And it needs to add a lot of value and give people something that's very fulfilling. So understanding how that works technologically and understanding what people want is what creates success for us and the groups we work with. So as Chief Experience Officer, I've always focused on that. And then as Chief Operating Officer, it's about bringing that framework across our company so that we're building something that fulfills that for what we're doing as a company.
I understand there's a technical aspect to it, but is there also a very creative aspect to being CXO?
Yeah, I mean, we've always said as a company that the tools in the real world need to be made for the virtual world. So there's a lot of thinking around, websites have been flat for a very long time, and people who have many generations have been growing up in these virtual worlds where they go in to experience gameplay and social aspects, but they're also just talking to their friends about everything. I grew up doing that, and many younger generations do that as well. So you have to think about how people can not just consume content, but experience content in ways that are new and connects people to purchase moments or things that are going to be very fulfilling for them with the content they love. So for instance, when we've worked with artists in the past, we've had the artist, put something out on social, say jump in. People are at home on their phones, on the couch. They can jump right in. They can engage with different content we have in that virtual space. One of them being, we've had concert tickets that a music label has put in cities all across the country alongside that artist's tour that was going on at that time. People were able to find coordinates in this virtual experience that we built out. People then got up off the couch, they went to those coordinates, they got the tickets, they went to the show. So inventing these kinds of experience flows and being creative with how they're done is what gets people playing through these experiences and using them, and not only doing it one time, but coming back as well.
So just real quick, how do you evaluate success? What kind of metrics do you use to say, okay, we got it right and we're improving the customer experience?
Yeah, there's many ways to do it. There's always a wealth of KPIs that either an artist or a label or a creator or a brand wants to have. I mean, generally what it comes down to is presence and impression time and success on everybody's favorite word, which is engagement. So many different activations and things that we've done, we've seen over 20 minutes average impression time. Even smaller experiences have averages of 6, 7, 8 minutes impression time for individual users, which objectively, in terms of experiential marketing, is pretty outstanding. So we just look to focus on things like that, which means that artists and creators and brands and everyone in between can really focus on wrapping their arms around their core audience, but also because these experiences are virtual and a global point of entry, they have a much greater potential to reach the other 80% of their audience and grow their audience. So that's what we consider success.
All right, well, I can see definitely in today's world where people have short attention spans to be able to hold on to people for 20 minutes at a time. That's fabulous. So let's segue now from virtual world to digital currencies. Fraser, at Netcoins, you're committed to making crypto trading as accessible as possible for investors. And I got to say, on some crypto platforms, it's simply not that easy to get your money on and off. So tell us, what concrete steps have you been taking at Netcoins to make crypto investing easy?
Yes, Michael, there's a lot of different avenues and ways in which we try and make crypto investing easy. The first is we start with education. We want you to be able to come to netcoins.com, check out our blog, look at our education center, and learn about cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of different nomenclatures, definitions, tokens, chains, etc. We really want to demystify that and make it simple and understandable. In addition to that, we want to make it very easy for users to sign up with us. We've got a great onboarding process. It's simple, it's easy to do. You can do it on web and mobile. It takes as little as 5 minutes to get through it, and you can become a user who's registered with the platform and ready to go in a simple and straightforward way. In addition to that, we've got a number of different funding options. You can fund directly from your bank account. You can send a bank wire, you can deposit crypto assets, and you can withdraw in the same way. So it's quite simple. It's integrated into the application, so you don't have to do outside steps to fund or withdraw from your accounts. And ultimately, we want to make the trading process very simple and easy. We're upfront, we're very transparent about the fees, about the way in which the trading operates, about withdrawals, about when you'll receive your coins, and we give a lot of transparent information to the user to help them to make really informed decisions.
I love the way you say you're demystifying it, because traditional finance, sometimes they try to obscure things to make it seem more complicated than it really is. And that's how they keep their big salaries. And you're democratizing it by making it simpler. So moving on, it's no secret that investing in crypto can be a bit like riding a roller coaster. You've got to be prepared for those big swings. Take a look at the price of Bitcoin. It's down about 17% since hitting a year high just about 2 months ago. Altcoins can be even more volatile. And the thing is, when prices are down, well, investors are more likely to sit on the sidelines. So I'm curious, how does this sort of volatility, how do these swings impact your company's operations?
Yeah, on our side, volatility is great, actually, because trading takes place on both the buy and the sell side. So when the markets are moving, Netcoins is very busy. Transaction volumes are very high, and we're seeing a lot of users logging in, not only to check balances, but to make trades. We've got a lot of nice tools that are at users' fingertips. We use push notifications to give updates and alerts whenever there's large price changes on crypto assets. We have a coin price widget, so we can literally sit on the homepage of your phone so that anytime you open it up, you can see 3 assets and track the prices of them. We've got limit orders that allow you to set prices. So if you think the market's going in one direction or the other, you can preset that price order, and when it hits it, you'll automatically execute the trade. And in addition to that, from the volatility perspective, we see a lot of users coming in to speculate. There's a lot of new coins that have come out during this year, and they're excited to see either the rise or potential falls of them. And for Netcoins, we're happy to trade on both sides of the book.
All right, some viewers at this point may be wondering why we've invited both you gentlemen onto the same program. After all, I mean, the Intraverse and digital coins, the cryptos, it may seem like different businesses, but you're actually also working in sister companies, Netcoins and TerraZero, your subsidiaries of BIGG Digital, that's big with 2 Gs. Brandon, tell us, are there synergies between your 2 companies?
Yeah, there definitely are synergies between TerraZero and Netcoins and across BIGG Digital Assets. We're developing these virtual spaces where things like commerce can take place and omni-channel connectivity can take place, but also education can take place. So for self-directed investors, what TerraZero provides with the Intraverse is a very, very powerful thing. And what we also like seeing and encourage and foster is using Intraverse tech as an onboarding tool and an education tool for users to get involved with Netcoins, which obviously is a very, very prominent exchange where users could come into these virtual spaces, learn about different digital assets, and then connect directly to where they could download the Netcoins app. And so, Volatility is an opportunity on both sides for Netcoins, but it's also now an opportunity for investors because they have virtual spaces in which they can go to understand what volatility even is, let alone how they can make it work for them. So, we see that as a major synergy between us and Netcoins and our other partners. I don't know, what would you add to that, Fraser?
Yeah, from my perspective, the first is audiences. Brandon and his team get to operate in a really creative space where they're engaging with consumer packaged goods brands, with Big Four agencies, with artists like Teddy Swims and Dua Lipa. And those fan bases may not have direct exposure to crypto trading platforms or to understand who they are and where they operate. So we get exposure to those audiences in the Intraverse where Netcoins can advertise. Netcoins has its own space where users can come and learn about crypto trading, about Netcoins. And again, getting back to that original question of demystifying what crypto trading is. So there's a lot of people that haven't had a lot of exposure to it, who are big fans of artists that Brandon and his team work with, or other major organizations that have a global presence that perhaps want to have crypto on the balance sheet and want to understand how crypto works. We get the opportunity to talk to those audiences and engage with them, where other crypto trading platforms, quite frankly, would never have that type of opportunity. In addition to that, we're going to get to use their technology to have our own home in the Intraverse. And we're going to be able to talk to customers in a different way, to educate them, to let them know about how crypto trading works, and most importantly, about how quick and easy it is to get started with Netcoins.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, definitely to leverage off of each other's talents and skills and what you do, and those additional conversations you say you can have, that's really quite interesting. I want to bring it back to Netcoin specifically now. I'm curious about your user base. What can you tell us about us? Tell us about them. Who are they, and why would you say they're joining the platform?
Yeah, we've got an extremely diverse user base, which is great. For us, we are seeing really strong retail trading in Canada. In addition to that, we've seen strong numbers on our US side from the retail perspective, where we continue to serve that space. In addition to that, we are really focusing for the United States on our sales and trading through our OTC desk. Accredited investors, small businesses, corporations, where they might be engaging with a crypto trading firm for the first time. We are really providing hands-on white glove services for those companies that are looking to perhaps have Bitcoin on their balance sheet or stake crypto assets as an investment. And we provide those services on a one-to-one basis. In Canada, we've seen a lot of action on both sides, on the buy and the sell side. Across our user base, our staking numbers have grown significantly as we've added more assets to that product. And in addition to that, we've seen a lot of great use of our Netcoins pay card. On a monthly basis, we continue to see nearly $1 million spent on our prepaid MasterCard every month, which is really real testament to that product and service. So we're seeing people stake assets, trade assets, and stack them through the pay card. And we've been really happy with the growth that we've seen during the first quarter of this year.
Trade, stake, and stack. So three areas of business there. What are you working on next?
Yeah, so next is expansion for the United States. We signed a partnership deal with Zero Hash. We'll be available in 48 states towards the middle of this year. That's really exciting. Currently, we're operating in 17 states, so that expansion is significant. It will really grow our ability to serve the entire United States market, and we look forward to that. In addition to that, more crypto assets to trade and stake in Canada. We're enhancing onboarding for businesses. We're going to make it really easy for businesses to onboard with us, and that'll carry us into what can be an exciting third quarter.
Awesome. So speaking of third quarter, investors always take a look at things quarter by quarter. So let's look at the investing side of the equation now. Shares here, parent company, BIGG Digital, they're trading well off their 52-week high. They're down more than 50% since the beginning of the year. Some analysts might say this presents a buying opportunity. So tell us, why do you think investors should take a fresh look at BIGG Digital?
Sure, I can go first. From my perspective, the firms have made significant growth as far as how they operate. The operations have really changed within the firm. So taking a fresh look at the balance sheet about how we operate, about being cost conscious around how we're delivering our products and the markets in which we serve, as well expanding the user bases that we're going after. So both Netcoins and Blockchain Intelligence Group are expanding their target markets, having their sales teams focused on new opportunities for Blockchain Intelligence Group, looking at crypto trading platforms, looking at law enforcement, looking at governments, looking at agencies, looking at banks, financial services sectors who can utilize BitRank and Clue in their forensics tools for on-chain data. And for Netcoins, expanding our reach, expanding into 48 states in the United States is extremely significant for our firm. And as well, we brought the cost to operate down significantly over the last 2 years. So we've got a really fresh perspective on how the operations work. And we hope that investors can take a deep look at that as we move into this year. Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of going forward, we want to be very growth focused at TerraZero. Our product and what we're putting out is very multifaceted. We are sector agnostic. We work with all kinds of businesses. And when we do that across BIGG Digital Assets, we set up a pure play between all three companies. So as we work with different kinds of businesses and partners, when they want to get into digital assets and things like that, we create opportunities for Blockchain Intelligence Group and Netcoins. And that way, all three companies can work together to create more success and expansion and growth. That's very future focused. We plan together and then go divide and conquer, but we have a unified vision for how BIGG Digital Assets can be a very far-reaching Web3 play and digital assets play. So we can work very well individually and generate a lot of success, but we're also even stronger as a united group of three companies under BIGG Digital Assets. So it's an exciting future to be a part of.
Well, Brandon, you mentioned three companies. So in addition to owning Netcoins and TerraZero, BIGG Digital also fights money laundering and helps verify crypto wallets. Fraser, Brandon, thank you guys so much for joining us today. It's really been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Michael.
We've been speaking with Netcoin CEO Fraser Matthews and TerraZero's Brandon Johnson, and you've been watching Global Web Media's Stocks to Watch. I'm Michael Suedo.